ये सेटल ऑन फास्ट आ जाएगी। हाँ हाँ आ जाएगा इसके साथ यहाँ पे आगे खींचो। हाँ चलो ऐसे कर लो। See, in today lab, what we are going to do is we are going to see practically that we talked in morning lecture. What we discussed, we discussed about the logical address, the MAC address, and the port number. Whatever we discussed in the morning lectures, now we will see this thing practically using packet tracer, right? I hope in the previous lab all of you have submitted your module 1 for your Cisco packet tracer, right? Successfully, everyone has done that. All have scored above 70. Anyone less than 70? Everyone score more than 70%, right? So means you have qualified the first module. Now we are left with the remaining 4 chapter, right? And in that, after completing that, then we will have the second module, second quiz, and then you will have the certificate, right? हाँ हाँ किसी के साथ ये कहाँ जा रहा है? हाँ हाँ चेयर ले आओ, bring. Okay. Yes, online student, you can mark your attendance by writing present in the chat box. And in a couple of minutes, I'm just going to start, so you can get ready with your Cisco packet tracer. I hope you can see the screen. I hope you remember the concept of DSCP. Do you remember? No? What is DSCP? Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. We did it in the previous lab. Yes. Since maximum of you are not present, so I just going to repeat that part, and then I'm going to connect it with this LAN, and then we will going to use router, and then we will again going to connect with another LAN. Then we will see that how much that logical address is working up to which level, and then where the role of MAC address come in picture. Right? This is what we discussed in the morning lecture, right? That where we need MAC address and where we need logical address, right? And how they are working, right? So we will understand the underlying working by implementing that thing practically, right? Do one thing, you have to be focused over here, right? So turn your chair and that, and have that notebook, pen, pencil with you. Whatever I am saying, the important thing you have to note it down, right? So in the previous lab, if you remember, we discussed many things on the board. We discussed about cables. We discussed about the 5 components. As you said that, sir, kindly repeat from the beginning. आप ही लोग ने कहा था यार, याद है कि ऑनलाइन में थोड़ा सा इशू हो गया था आप लोग को. Okay. So आज DSCP के साथ I will try to perform one more practical जिसमें हम HTTP भी कर लेंगे. Getting simple है. DSCP करेंगे तो HTTP भी कर लेंगे साथ में. और along with that we will come to know what is IP address, MAC address and port address. How they are working, उनका क्या range है, scope क्या है. Scope of this basically practical का main idea जो रहेगा, what is the scope of physical address, what is the scope of logical address and scope of port address, right? How they are working, right? So इसमें देखा जाए तो all in all lots of things are involved. बहुत सारी चीजें होंगी इसमें डिस्कशन में. मैक साथ में आपके डिवाइसेस भी आएंगे, राउटर्स आएंगे, switches आएंगे, hub आएंगे, and devices आएंगे. One server will be also there. So we will see DSCP along with HTTP, along with different LAN, along with router. So along with RIP, that thing will be combined in this particular lab, right? So अगर आप ये lab को समझ जाते हो आज वाली lab में, so maximum of the things will get clear in your mind, right? So pay attention. If you want to come here, you can come. You can bring your chair and you can make a layer. You can come over here. If it is not possible for you to see from that, right? You bring your chair and come and settle it down like this way. Come on. Come this way. Yes. एक बीच में लाइन बनाना है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, थोड़ा सा आगे मूव कर जाए, और भी आ रहे हैं. आजो भाई, आजो, कम दिस साइड, ठीक है, आजो आजो. Come on. आ जाओ भाई. Come on. Bring your chair. आप लोग ने भी आना है. You can come this. ठीक है? You can come this side. इधर आ जाओ, आगे आ जाओ. Yes. उधर बैठ जाओ, उधर खाली. Okay. All are comfortable now, right? So get ready with your pen and paper, whatever, or wherever you can write it down, right? So what we will do is we'll start with a simple, right? Starting from the discussion that in a networking, right, we need minimum 2 computers, right? Not less than 2. So we need minimum 2 and maximum it could be anything, right? Now, as we know, if we want to connect 2, then we need a cross cable. But what about if we want to go with more than 2? Then we need some inter-networking devices. So in that way, we need a component. We need a component. Yes, it's recording. We need a component that is hub and switch, right? So what we will do, we will make use of hub also, we will make use of switch also, and then in that different LAN, we'll try to connect with the router, right? So let's see over here. So this is, first of all, I am just trying to connect with in a single LAN, right? So just consider it like in the morning lecture we talked about, right? So this is your local area network 1, and we called it as a LKCTC, right? So just think of this particular lab where we are sitting. In this, you can see how many computers are connected. How many computers are connected? 34, 35 around. So we will have that thing. So just adding more computers, right? 1 and like this way. Fine. And why we need this device? Hub. Why we need hub? Because we want to connect more than 2 computers, obviously, right? So for that reason, I have this devices, right? Like this way. And if it could be, now since there is some capacity of this hub, it has only 6, so we cannot go more than 6. So if we want to go, then what we will do, we want to include the modules, right? How we can include the module? We have to find out the fast Ethernet, right? So where is fast Ethernet? Just you can search it out. This is a gigabit, right? And this is your fast Ethernet, right? So you can add one more like this way, right? I'm just turning it on again. And now what I can do is I'm just trying to connect them with this one by one. And you know, this is the way we can able to connect. And since devices are different, so this will be a straight cable, right? So this is one LAN over here, right? And there could be more LAN in a same network, right? That could be also possible. So what we will do is we will have one more hub if we want to extend with more devices. This is LAN 1 LKCTC. Lab name is how much? 20B204. This is the room number of this lab. So I have just created this one. Now you can see one lab is again connected with another lab on the other side. So that is how, what is the name? B205. B205, right? So over there also I have one hub. So what I will do is I will try to connect with this hub to another hub. Now this is extended. Now since these are the similar devices, so there is a cross cable. You can see this cable and this cable is different from each other, right? So in that manner, we will have an extended LAN. This is extended LAN. One LAN, this is, but again in a same network. Why I am drawing this thing? So that you can able to understand that we need, if we want to extend further, like we have in this college lab, this is 204, then we have 205, then 6, 7. This is extended LAN. But all the devices are in the same network, right? Then only they can able to communicate. So what we do is we will have more PCs. Now suppose think of this thing that this is a lab where these PCs are connected in this manner, right? Now, as we know, it is very difficult to configure all the 3-4 labs all together. To assign IP address is a tedious job. What we need then? We need a server. So I will bring server over here. One server is now come in picture. And which server is this? This is a it's a DHCP server LKCTC, right? So this is our DHCP server that we will try to connect, right? So what we will do is, what we need to do is we need to connect this server with any of this hub intermediate device, right? And I will put it over like this. So configure this server, what I will do is I have to assign some pool of address. In that pool of address, automatically the device, whenever they will be active in a network, what they will get? They will get IP address. So now the job of a administrator will be reduced, right? So otherwise there could be a problem of conflict. Similar IP address could be assigned. We don't want that thing. And if a same IP address is assigned to more than one computer, then what will happen? There will be a network conflict, right? So that could not be a successful transmission, right? So what we will do, we will go to DHCP. Now this is how we are configuring a DHCP server. We will switch on the server service, and in fast Ethernet we are connected. We will start with an IP address. Now this LAN is working in class A address scheme, suppose that is 10.0.0.10, right? And subnet mask will be 255.0.0.0, and the maximum devices that it is going to support is 100, and we are going to name it pool 1, right? And then we are going to add it. Sorry, dot me add, right? You can see the pool. So DHCP is nothing but it is a pool of IP address, and in between that pool of IP address, automatically IP address will be assigned to the devices which request for for IP address from the server. So automatically it will be assigned to that device, right? No need to do that thing manually, right? So what we will do in the other side, simply we will turn on the you can say we have to go into fast Ethernet, right? And we have to go for the DSCP, right? So we have to start the service in each and every device. We have to start the DSCP, right? And you can see over here, we have given the IP address to this server also. First of all, we have to give the IP address to the server, right? So 10.0.0.10, the subnet mask is 10 is already allotted or what, right? So subnet mask is this one, and default gateway is 10.0.0.11, right? We are turning it off, and then we will check for this. Let's connect all the devices, right? One by one, like this way, right? Now we have to make sure that DSCP is enabled in all the devices. And once that is done, then what will you will see that IP address will be getting allotted automatically to all the devices. There is no need to do that thing manually. Only I have to turn on that service. You can see automatically IP address is allotted to all the devices, right? So I'm just doing that thing. We have to turn on the IP address to each and every device like this way. And one by one, the request will go to the server. Now I am in a different lab. Now this is lab 205, right? In the same building, and which is not connected directly with the server, but through this hub, it is connected to the server. Let's check it out that could we get the DSCP IP address even we are not connected directly. Getting? So this is the thing that I was want to show you, that yes, this is how we can extend the LAN in this manner. And this is your final network of one LAN, right? So similarly, we can have one more lab, 207, 208, and in that, right? And the server is there always, right? Now, what we need to do is we need the replication of this thing, right? On the other side also, the same thing will be there or not? Yes? Okay. So let's do it on the other side also. So I'm not making all this again 2 labs. I'm making 1 lab on the other side. Right? Think of the same way that on the other side, we again have the same type of lab, right? Which is connected together. For that, what is needed? We need a intermediate device. Now this time what we are using switch. So in this NIT Jalandhar, we are using switch, right? So it is not like that. Switch is also can be used over here also. Why I have make this difference, so that you could able to know the working, right? Nothing else. So again, we have this thing, and we can extend this with the help of one more switch. We could be easily able to connect with the cross cable like this way, right? And then what we need a server over here, there also, if we don't want to do it manually. So what I want to do is, now I have to connect the server with the switch, right? And then again I have to set the settings for this, right? So you can see the service where DHCP service, I have to turn it on 10.0.0. Sorry. Let's take it the class C addressing, different addressing scheme, right? So 192.168.1.1, and starting IP address is 192.168.1.2 with subnet mask 255.0.0.0 with maximum devices connection, that will be 100, and we will add that pool of address for this particular, right? And over here the IP address is 192.168.1.1, and then we will cross it. Now on the other side, we are going to start with the DHCP service. Now this class is class C automatically with but class C, and we have used subnet mask of how much? 255.255.255.0, right? So automatically that will be, request will be fulfilled. And then again we will do for the other system also, same thing for the other system. And you can see over here we have completed all that task, and protocol is set, right? This is another lab over there, right? So this is suppose internet lab, right? And internet lab also have one or two devices which we are trying to connect. So this is two devices like this way. Okay. Again, what we will do, you'll set the done. Similarly in hub, we did for switch also. It is working, right? So as we requested the IP address from the server. Server is your this one, right? So we have this server, we call it, I'm just going to rename it. We call it DHCP server for NIT Jalandhar, right? And you can see each port is now turned back to green, right? Anything else is left? Now you can see there are two different LAN. This is LAN 1 and this is a different LAN in NIT Jalandhar, and even in NIT Jalandhar it is extended LAN, right? Which is connected with the server, right? Now let's check it out, that PDU, that packet data unit over here, could be able to communicate with the server. Yes. So it means this server is able to connect with any device, right? Let's check it out between devices to devices, one LAN to another LAN. It is successfully working, right? Let's delete the scenario, and again we will do with another device, PC2 to PC10. Yes, it's working over here, right? So that hub is working fine. Now let's check it out in the case of switch. So the switch is also working fine. As you can see, let's check it out for the one LAN to another LAN. Yes, not an issue. Let's check it with between the PCs. Yes, it's working perfectly fine. Means the basic criteria for communication is done between the LAN. Now, what if we want to connect between these two? So one of you will say, sir, directly, there is no port left in this. Now let's check it out. In this, it is again not left. So what I will do is, I will delete one of the device, nothing else, to make an extra port for connecting. So if I am trying to connect, यहाँ से NIT में हमने एक वायर डाल दी. Getting now? So now let's check it out. Could we able to communicate? अगर हम एक वायर डाल देते हैं. Now these are the similar device. So there will be a cross cable between these two, right? And since it is a switch, it will take certain amount of time to get ready for the network. You can see it is coming orange over here. So once that thing will be right green, then we will try to do that. Now you can see the bubble is now turned into green. Now let's check it out that could we able to connect with this DHCP server to this DHCP server, and it is failed. And again we will do that, and again it is failed. Can any one of you will tell me that why it is failed? Why this thing is coming? दोनों different network हैं. That's why. Now you understood that over here, अगर मुझे connect करना है hub and switch में, right? So the address need to be same. अगर मैं यहाँ पे कोई भी different network connect कर देता हूँ device, तो क्या होगा? Communicate नहीं कर पाऊंगा. Right? So if I am using a laptop and I am moving from one here to another, then it will not be possible for me to communicate because यहाँ पे address different है, and then if I am going to NIT, यहाँ पे address different होगा, तो वहाँ पे मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? Different address उस network का डालना पड़ेगा, and for that, that's why the logical address come in picture. So जो कि temporary है and that could be easily changed, right? That we can do, right? And then only that device can communicate with this protocol. This is a different network with different network address. As you can see over here, we are using 255.255.255.0, and over here we are using 255.0.0. Over here, only first 8 bits in that octet. If you remember, we have 4 octet in an IP address. So 255 means the first 8 bit is only used for network address, this one. Whereas over here is 255.255.255.0. Means the first 3 octet, that is 8.8.8.8. So first 3 octet is being used for the network address, right? So that's why over here the CIDR value is /8. Over here the CIDR value is /24. Why? 8 plus 8 plus 8, that is 24. If you want to see, you just check it out. Just have the cursor in this, right? Over here in the server, just see what is written 192.168.1.1/. That's when 24 signifies that how many bits are being used for network address. How many bits are used? 24. Means first octet is consumed, second octet is also consumed, third octet is also consumed. That's why it is coming 24 over there. On the other side, if you want to go in this server, it is /8. 10.0.0.11/8. And what is the technical name for this? CIDR. Classless Inter-Domain Routing, CIDR. This slash is basically CIDR. which is talking about number of bits being consumed for network address in this subnetwork. So how many bits are we using in this network? 8 bits. First 8 bits are used for network address. How much we are left with then? 24/24 we are left with, means 2 raised to power 24 addresses could be maintained. This much number of addresses could be generated for host. Over here we are consuming /24 bits. How much we are left with? 8, means 2 raised to power 8. It means 256. Starting from 0 means 255. First and last address is not consumed. So 256 minus 2, 254. So maximum how many? 254 addresses could be possible in this with this address screen. This is how we can reduce the network by increasing the network bits. You understanding? So by increasing the network bits, we could able to decrease the size of the network. If we have only 10 devices, then what we will do, we will borrow more bits from the neighboring bits, neighboring octet, right? So we are left with only 8 bits in the last octet. If we want to decrease the network, again we want to resize the network into something around 2 or 3 devices or 10 devices. So what we will do, we will borrow more bits in the last octet, right? Now let me show you how we can do that. For that, what I will do is I will change the subnet mask, right? So in that way, you can see, right, in the last one, that is 192. If I will go with 192 subnet mask, you can see now the CIDR value will be changed. Let's check it out. From 24 to 26 means the first bit is also consumed in the last octet, and the second bit is also again consumed in the last octet. So out of 32, now how many bits are consumed for network address? 26. So what we are left with? 32 minus 26. How much we are left with? 6. So 2 raised to power 6 number of addresses now could be possible in that network. And if you want to go further, what I will do, I will add one more bit, right? So we are left with 2 raised to power 5. Then we are left with 2 raised to power 4. Then we are left with 2 raised to power 3. 2 raised to power 3 means only 8 address could be possible, right? In this manner, we can resize the network, right? Now, as we can see that there is a not successful transmission if we connect directly 2 different LAN with 2 different network address. This is the first criteria, right? Now, how we can achieve that? Simply by inserting a network layer device. And what we call network layer device? It is a router. So we need a router over here, right? Let me clear the screen, and then we will. Okay. So it means this connection is totally wrong. We don't want this thing. We will remove it, and now we will plan that what is needed. There is a need of router if we want to connect 2 different networks. So what we did is we brought router coming, right? And why we need this router? Because we want to connect 2 different networks. So what we will do is we make a connection, right, in this manner. So if you are working in the same way what I am doing, there is no chance of error, right? You can draw this 2 LAN differently, then bring the router, try to connect with the router. Now, you know, this is gigabit 0/0/0. This is the interface. This is also acting as a gateway for this network. So this address need to be similar to the address to which it is connected immediately. It is connected with 0/0/0. So we have to go into this router and then configuration Ethernet 0/0/0. We have to turn it on. Then you can see that we have to provide the IP address 192.168.1. Suppose 20 and 255.0.0.0, right? So this address need to be given. Network address 192.168.1.0. I'm not assigning the IP address, I'm assigning the network address. That's why 0 is coming. You can check it. You can never assign .0 address to any device except only on in this router, because now router is taking care of packet for that network, and for that reason router require network address. It does not require IP address, right? Because router will only deliver the packet to that network. Router will not deliver the packet to the destination. Destination part will be taken care by MAC address that you studied in the morning class, which work on which layer? Physical layer and data link layer. So over there, router and hub, hub and switch, they are working with physical address. That is how many bits? 48 bits. And you can see there are 6 octets. Every octet is of 8 bits. So that's why it is 40, right? So as you can see, now I have configured this port, and now I just want to check that whether I could able to reach. Just delete the scenario and try to send the server to this gateway. This router is completely fine and it's working. In the same manner, if I go in this way in Laipur Khalsa College, and over here, first of all, I have to check the port, the interface. Which interface is this, right? So is it 0/0/1 or 0? Is gigabit 0/0/0. So what I have to do, this gigabit Ethernet, turn it on, and I have to give the 10.0.0.20 as a gateway address. And you can see now it is connected. Let's check it out. We could able to connect with this or not. And it is successfully connected. I assure you, if you follow the same step what I am doing, you will never make a mistake in your life. Just follow the protocol, follow the rules. If you are doing something, it means if it is not successful, it means you are missed giving an appropriate IP address, or there should be a problem of wiring medium. You have wrongly connected it, right? Now you can see now this particular thing is connected, right? Now what we need to do, we need to connect the routers. Now this is a network, this is a different network, this is another network, right? We want to connect these two. Let's check it out, the interface. Gigabit 0/0/1 on the both side, you can see it is coming. So first start with this one. This is the address, and over here I'm going with some address 172.0.0.1. This is 255. This is class B address. So on the left hand side we have class A, on the right hand side we have class C, in the middle what we have? Class B, 255. It means the CIDR value will be how much? 16. 255.255. 8 bit is consumed. First 8 bit, second 8 bit is also consumed. The last 2 is remaining. So how many hosts could be possible? 2 raised to power 16. It means how much? 65,535. Things need to be like this always, right? Okay, so I am just turning it off now, and on the other side also turn it on. Here, what 72.0.0.20 over how much we have given? Let it be 22. 255.255.0.0, right? You can see these two is there. Let's check it out. Could they able to communicate? In progress. Let's check it out once more. Successful. Because this is a router. Whenever dealing with router, first attempt is always failed. I told you many times. So don't be worried that what the problem is, right? Just try it, reattempt it once again, and you will able to know that yes, these are working. So if we see, if we could able to reach from server to the router, let me delete the scenario. you can see this is successful. Now we could able to reach between router and router, that is also. So all in all, we can able to reach from here to here, from router to here, and then finally from router to the server. You can see it is successful, right? But if we try to send from server to server, it is failed. What is the problem? Till now, we have not set the routing. We need a routing table because router always work in a routing table, right? It needs some path, it need roadmap, and for that we have two types of routing. We have static routing and dynamic routing. So we are going with the dynamic routing. So one side we have this 10.0.0.0 network. In the middle we have 172.